today at the Rockland store where we're here with Isabella.
Hi.
Hi. And Kristen. Hi. And Greg. Hey. And this is Kelly. And we are talking all about houseplants. If you can't tell, look at our beautiful greenhouse that we're in. We have a jungle in here, and we are going to break it down for you so you understand a little bit more about houseplants and make it a little bit easier for you. So first, let's have Isabella introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how you got into houseplants, and then we'll jump into our 5 best houseplants for beginners.
So I'm Isabella. I'm the houseplant buyer here at the Rockland Green Acres location. I started getting into houseplants when I actually worked at Roseville. Jill is the one who got me into it. She is amazing. She knows so much about houseplants. I absolutely love what I do. Trying to find as many awesome plants for you guys is my passion.
Great. What are the best houseplants for someone just starting out?
So my favorite plant for beginners is the Sansevieria. Here's a close-up of the Sansevieria Star Power.
Otherwise known as the snake plant or the mother-in-law's tongue.
Yes. It's got many nicknames.
And that's what, a 2-inch plant?
This is a 4-inch pot, and this one actually stays very compact. It's going to grow low. Most of the Sansevierias that people are more familiar with are going to be the taller varieties. Like this one, there's a ton of varieties, so you can get a lot of different color combos. You kind of want to treat them almost like a succulent. The watering is low. You want to make sure you don't overwater. That's the easiest way to kill this plant. So just kind of neglect it. It likes to be forgotten a little bit.
I let mine go almost dry to the touch. When the soil goes dry to the touch, and then I give them a good thorough soak. And my 4-inch I got last year, that exactly one has doubled in size because of that.
That's amazing.
And look at these. Look at how cool this variety is.
That's probably my favorite one.
The starfish.
The starfish?
Sansevieria starfish.
Starfish. That is so cool.
But another good thing about Sansevieria plants is they purify the air. This is one of the best plants to purify the air in your home. So you're putting down carpet or any of your products that release toxins. This actually literally pulls toxins out of the air and puts out oxygen at night.
So the first #1 easy houseplant is?
The Sansevieria, also known as the mother-in-law's tongue or
the
snake plant.
Excellent. So neglect it. That's the key with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Too much water will definitely not make that plant happy.
All right. Let's jump to #2.
The ZZ plant, Zamioculcas zamifolia. Very easy. You want to treat it the same way as your Sansevieria. Let the soil dry out in between. The most important thing with this one is to give it warmth. It doesn't want to be right underneath your heater, but it doesn't want to be in a cold room.
And what about light, Isabella?
This one, actually, we promote this as a medium to low light plant. It thrives in bright, so it's very flexible. You can pretty much put it anywhere.
Great. And how tall? Let's talk about height on that one. How tall does that one get?
That one can get, I've seen them about 4 feet tall.
Great.
Yeah. The taller ones sometimes need to be staked to train them, but yeah, very easy plant.
So that's the perfect plant for that person who doesn't think they have a green thumb.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yes, everyone has success with the ZZ plant.
Yep. Excellent. So ZZ, just call it ZZ, right?
Yes.
Easy.
All right, what's next?
I like the Dracaena family. These ones are fantastic plants for a beginner. They're very forgiving. If you happen to overwater it maybe once or twice, it's not going to die on you immediately. It'll actually have a yellow tip on the leaf, so you know that you've overwatered, and you can snip that off. I don't have an example on this guy.
You watered it just perfectly.
So this one, I let them get a little on the drier side. You don't want it to be bone dry. So around the 7 to 10 day window is a good thing to go off of. And there's so many varieties.
And what I do too is if I'm not sure about watering, I fill up my water jug, let it sit overnight, let all the minerals get out of the soil, out of the water, and then I water them thoroughly the next day. And that seems to keep the edges from browning as well.
Yes. Outside sun, you don't want any outdoor direct sun. Most of these are tropical plants, and they can't handle our harsh direct sun around here.
They thrive in bright indirect light. Most plants, house plants in general, bright indirect, but some can handle lower light, basically.
So outside, most of these actually love a trip to the covered porch in the summertime. As long as they're not getting any direct sun, they're going to be very happy out there. Porch lighting outside in the summer is considered bright indirect light.
Okay. What was that one called again?
This one is the Dracaena dorado.
Dracaena dorado.
They used to be called, by people my generation, the corn plant, and that's a variegated corn plant.
You hear that a lot. The corn plant a lot.
Exactly.
And there's so many varieties. These actually can get very tall. They'll hit your ceiling if you let them.
So this is the corn plant also?
Yes, this is another variety. This one is the Warneckii Whitebird.
This one is too also, actually.
That one's the lemon lime.
Lemon lime.
And that is
probably my favorite.
and a big seller, yes. That one just goes
Look at
with
its
any
color, it's amazing.
beautiful.
Get a close up.
Yeah.
You have the white even in there. You have the white, you have the light green.
I've found in my own collection that the variegated ones tend to be a little bit slower of growers than the straight green colors, but it makes such a nice statement in amongst your other plants. It definitely has a pop of color.
Do any of these have aromas? Are they fragrant?
No, they do not have aromas. Some of them will have a little bit of an aroma if you break a leaf. We try to avoid doing that though, so no.
So we're on number 4, right?
Yes.
We did the corn plant. What's next?
The Spathiphyllum. This one's known as the peace lily. Wonderful plant. It's very hardy, easy to grow, makes a great gift for your friend that you're not sure what kind of lighting they have.
Okay.
It can handle medium to low light. It's not going to bloom very profusely in low light, so if you're wanting to enjoy the beautiful flowers, then I would recommend putting it in brighter light.
And that's another one that really purifies the air
Yes.
and
Yes.
supplies oxygen.
It's beautiful. And so this is a bloomer. You get indoor blooms.
Yes.
This one, you have to be a little careful if you have pets. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So probably not the best if your friend has a cat or something.
Yes.
And okay, so that one, what about watering on that one, Isabella?
That one likes a little bit more water. I would say keep it evenly moist, so around the 7-day mark is a good range. Always test the soil before watering. Make sure the top is a little on the drier side. Yeah, that's the easiest way to check.
And if you're not sure about watering, don't water. It's a lot easier to bring a plant out of underwatering than it is overwatering. If it flags a little bit, it's okay where it sort of droops. But
Flagging is drooping.
flagging is drooping, but just then give it a good thorough soaking. Let the water go through the pot so that you release any minerals in that, and just make the plant a lot happier.
How long have you been with Green Acres, Greg?
I've been with Green Acres for 10 years and Matsuda's for 30 years.
So he is in the know, everybody. So let's jump to our 5th plant.
Yes. Pothos. Pothos is a wonderful plant, very hardy. It can grow in a multitude of conditions. It makes a great office plant. It can handle medium to low light. It does best in medium to bright, but will tolerate the lower light.
I want someone's hand next to a leaf.
I know,
Just look how
so
big.
gigantic.
Yeah, look how big that leaf is.
This
That's
is
a
the
giant
giant leaf pothos.
Well, there you go.
And see, this is a neon version. I love this.
that color. So neon pothos.
Yeah, goodness.
There's many varieties of pothos. This one is the Pothos Enjoy.
Look at that.
And you are true to enjoy it. If you
Yes.
give it as a gift, they will definitely enjoy it.
Enjoy. And are any of these trellis climbers? I'm supposing that giant one is.
Yes, and part of the reason the leaves are so big, not only is the variety a large leaf pothos, but if you put the pothos or philodendrons on a pole, their leaves are going to get
Like
bigger.
this one, Kelly.
They get bigger.
They
okay.
get bigger.
This is a philodendron,
That's
also
a
another
philodendron.
super easy plant too.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's
Hanging,
so-
so versatile. You can have it as a hanger,
hang it.
trellis.
And these, both the pothos and philodendron, I like to let the soil get a little on the drier side. Probably the top inch or so should be dry before watering. They can handle a little neglect in that department.
But this one is so crazy hardy. The
What's
Congo
this one
Rojo.
called? Congo Rojo philodendron. So when you say hardy, what do you mean?
Just different lighting. I've even seen this in a low light bathroom, but they really do enjoy bright light as well. But it just is, you cut off a leaf, if it doesn't look good, it gets new growth within a week or two.
It just goes with the flow.
Yeah, and like she said, they can dry out a little bit in between, so they're forgiving in that way.
They can handle the lower humidity in our homes, which makes them a great indoor plant.
They always have big, beautiful leaves a lot of times, or just interesting, different kind of leaves.
That's
like this one's
interesting. They're also different.
Yeah,
those
this
are all
one's the narrow. It's pretty cool. We're pretty crazy about philodendrons right now.
We're kind of
always trying to get different ones in here.
And that's what's cool about each store. Although Sacramento doesn't carry houseplants, unfortunately, all the other Green Acre, the 4 locations that do, have different buyers. So you're going to actually find different plants at different locations, which is really fun. But Coleus are awesome, actually. If you have a really bright room with a lot of light, it'll even take direct light inside. But they'll go out, they'll go like crazy, and you can cut branches off and give them away, and it's a lot of fun.
Once you start with the easy plants too, I feel like people will often like to pick sometimes kind of the harder plants, but I don't recommend it. Start with a really easy plant, and once you get used to the care.
I was going to ask, what's a hard plant?
Ooh, ferns can be more temperamental. Not all of them, but probably a maidenhair fern.
They really should be outside, shouldn't they, Kristen?
Yeah, they go deciduous and they die back, and you can cut them back, but they come back every spring. But they're just not the best always near a warm, draft like a heater or a window. They don't like super cold either. They want to stay evenly moist, so it's if they dry out a little too much, they get dry ends, and if they stay too wet, they will still get root rot. So
they're finicky. They're the finicky.
Yeah, they're a little
ones.
more finicky.
So it's good to start on one of these 5 plants and then work your way up. Is kind of what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Instead of starting with the hardest plant and then feeling like you don't have a green thumb and you're terrible at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to talk, Isabella, a little bit about the lighting for houseplants?
Yeah, so most houseplants thrive in bright indirect light, and what that means is basically if the plant can see the sky from where it's sitting, you probably have bright indirect light. It doesn't want to be smushed up against the glass. That can cause burning. But if it can see a good portion of the sky for most of the day, 6 hours or so, that's going to be your bright light location. Medium light is going to be a few feet away from that. If it's in a really brightly lit room, but it can't necessarily see sky from the spot, you have medium light. Low light is going to be, you have a window on the other side of the room. It doesn't get a whole lot of light, maybe a north window. That's going to be low light.
I wanted to kind of show people an example of each because I think this is a key part of houseplants for any plant lighting. Okay, so we're in, would you describe this as bright light?
This is bright light, especially that end of the greenhouse.
Okay.
That's where I keep all the bright light plants.
Bright light plants because they can see the sun and they can see the sky out there.
Yes.
Okay, so bright light. Let's walk in a little bit to the nursery and we're going to show you an example of medium and an example of a low.
So I consider this area to be medium.
This is medium because it can't see the sky, but there's still some light. Okay, medium. And so what kind of plants would you put in here, Bella?
Medium is going to be your ferns, philodendron, pothos, aglaonema. Some people know those as the Chinese evergreen. Those are great plants for medium light.
Okay, excellent.
Look at how
Poppy
nice
over
the
here.
fiddly fig is doing right over there.
It's probably because it's getting a little more bright light from those double doors right there too. So they like pretty bright light.
And it does have the 2 overhead lights that are somewhat close.
So that makes a difference.
Yes.
Artificial light does actually make a difference as well.
Okay, and see, let's look at that soil because I think people tend to maybe soak their plants. That soil feels dry.
Yes.
Okay.
And it should.
And it should, she says. Fiddly fig right there. Look at that beauty.
Oh, look at, we have the Hawaiian Christmas tree,
Oh,
the
look at
Araucaria,
That's
or also called star pine,
Norfolk pine.
Norfolk pine. Perfect, yes.
Love it. Very pretty.
Christmas tree all year long.
If you really want to know exactly how much light you have, you can actually get light meters. You measure it in foot candles. It's just a small device that you walk around your home and you measure your lighting.
So if people need resources in the store, online, or who do they come talk to?
You can pretty much talk to anybody here at the store and we can give you handouts. We've got lots of information on houseplants, care, lists of pet safe plants. You can also look online on our website. We have lots of material on there as well.
idiggreenacres.com.
Yes. All right, this is our low light.
So this spot does not have any natural light. It is only artificial, and it only has one light that's close to the plant, so I would consider this to be low light.
Okay, this is low light. And so what do you have in low light?
I have lots of dracaenas.
Dracaenas, y'all.
Christina's easy.
And you got a croton.
Yep, the protons too are very easy care.
Those are easy care, low light protons.
And a lot of low light plants are ironically low water too, so not necessarily ironically, but you know, they're not drying out as much because they're not getting in that bright light, but it makes them easier too.
If you're wondering what low light is, it has one artificial light. But we're gonna head back to where the Christmas plant orchids. What's like a couple tips on caring for orchids that you have?
So orchids are epiphytic, which means they grow naturally up in trees. So they get a whole bunch of rainwater and then they dry out. So you kind of want to mimic that natural environment that they have by letting them get on the drier side. I water mine every 7 days or so in the summertime. In the winter, that can go up to 14 days in between. So just make sure you know, do the finger test. Put your finger in. If it feels moist, let it go a few more days.
Okay. I tend to neglect mine and it always reblooms.
Yes.
I just forget about it and then I see blooms again.
Also, orchid bark is a really important medium if you're going to repot it. I feel like the orchid bark is best. They don't like to be sitting in that soil because, like she said, they're epiphytic. They're growing in trees and they're not suffocated by soil. They like oxygen to their roots pretty much just as much as water.
Okay, thanks for joining us, and find us online as well at idiggreenacres.com, and we're on
Instagram
and Twitter
and Pinterest.
and we have a Facebook houseplant group as well.
So join us. We have a lot of fun with that.
And tag us in any of your Facebook or any of your social media endeavors with your houseplants.
Yeah, that's really
Yes,
important.
please
Please
do.
do, because people always come in, like what you were talking
Yes,
about.
they come in, they buy something, you know, and I say, come back and show me a picture, and half the time, you know, we never get one, or they have cool ideas that they want to try, and we'd love to see it. So tag us in your photos.